Yeah, that's right, Alistair. As you mentioned there, as a result of Brexit, or the ultra-hard Brexit resulting in the protocol signed by the EU and the UK. Sadly, though, a lot of people mentioning the fact that this was wholly predictable and was predicted over the past 5 or 6 years amid the discussion around Brexit. But I'm joined now by Saj Karim, a former MEP here in the European Parliament for the Tory party, so sadly no more, but you're still welcome here, of course.
Good morning, Shona.
Saj, this was described as Project Fear, the fact that Northern Ireland would erupt in violence because of hard Brexit. Explain, what do you think? Was this all predictable?
It was predictable, it was set out, it was explained, but it was dealt with in a very brash manner by those who were arguing in favour of Brexit simply by labelling it Project Fear. And people were made to believe that this is a far-fetched scenario that could never emerge. Unfortunately, we were dealing with a very finely balanced peace agreement. And whilst those proponents of Brexit may have been able to drive a bulldozer through a brick wall and convince the English electorate that that's how you deliver Brexit, I'm afraid you cannot treat a finely balanced peace agreement in the same way without consequences.
What should Boris Johnson do now? He's the Prime Minister of the UK. Obviously, you're a member of the Tory party. What should the Prime Minister do?
Well, what should have been done right from the outset is that we should have made sure that a proper functioning SPS agreement was in place, rather similar to what we have for New Zealand and the European Union. The same could have been done for the UK and the EU. Now, that remains on the table so far as the EU is concerned, but the compromises need to be made by Boris Johnson. And whilst he maintains this very strict position on sovereignty, I'm afraid that we simply cannot deal with those issues. What we are seeing erupting on the streets of Belfast today, it's partly political, it's partly trade-related, but there are real constitutional issues behind this as well. Now, the SPS agreement will deal with some of those pressures, actually quite a lot of them, but I'm very worried now that the politics has now got to this stage. I'm not sure we can roll back from that.
Where do you see this going over the next few days? I mean, the violence hasn't stopped. The tensions have gotten worse and worse since essentially Christmas time. We haven't had any action from the UK government. Like, where do you think it's going to get to? What are your fears?
I'm very worried about the direction of travel. This is a complete failure of politics in London, but also by the proponents of Brexit from within Northern Ireland itself. These were the people who should have been arguing for provisions that did not allow this situation to arise. That simply wasn't the case. I don't know whether there was a failure of understanding on their part or whether they just thought that this would be okay at the end of the day. But of course, it hasn't worked out that way. From a UK perspective, it's very concerning in terms of constitutional issues and the integrity of the UK. And of course, all of this is happening a matter of weeks before the Scottish national elections are due to take place. So from a Great Britain perspective as well, this is raising ever more concerns. It has always been the case, and the government of the United Kingdom, certainly the people who are in government today, were made very well aware of the risks they were taking in pursuing Brexit in the way that they have done. But it seems that they are going to remain on course come what may. So, I'm very worried about where this is all heading and how it may end.